Warm greetings from the high 10. It's Everyday Shenanigans. Hello, Mary Blue. How you doing? Happy New Year. This live is going to be a piggyback off of AB's video. Candace's early statements to unmask in public. Hold on one second. My screen. I should have known this was going to happen. Can't get it together. I'm piggybacking off of AB's content from earlier. Candace's early statements to unmask and public response to WJHL interview. I'm going to be playing AB's content, and as I play it, I'm going to stop it and then give my commentary because I didn't feel like taking notes to try to remember everything that I wanted to say to break down the contradictions by Don and Candy. As you know, the past 2 weeks at least, I've basically rebuffed all the allegations, things that they've brought forward that I thought were lies. And that's what I'm going to do again in this commentary, things that I know that prove to me that this is an orchestrated crime pertaining to the disappearance of Summer Wells. I like to say my spirit is well pertaining to Summer. As I discussed with y'all earlier about the dream, I feel at peace now about the dream. I feel at peace about Summer Wells. Going to say that no matter what happens, it is what it is. This is my truth. This is how I feel. I want to thank you all for the kind words that you spoke on that article, the video, in your comments, I'm a little off right now, so don't pay me any mind. And forgive me, my voice was horrible. I think my thyroid's been acting up. But I feel at peace. Let me clarify about the dream. Somebody kept asking me, was it Grandis in the dream? There was nobody in the dream that was familiar to Summer. I didn't recognize anybody in the dream, and the faces were not like visible to me. I just knew there were people in the room. But in the dream, thank you. In the dream, nobody knew her or recognized her or me. I didn't recognize anybody in the dream. So her mother wasn't in there, her grandmother wasn't in there. Okay, and I call her bio mom Candy for those who get it confused. My interpretation is that she's gone. She's passed on, that she's in heaven. That's what I took from the dream, that she was in the room. She had walked herself into a part of heaven that had elderly people, and she was eating her fruit. And then somebody in the comment section said, well, you remember you talked about John Bonet the other day. And of course, that was content that came up in the audio that I played, that the child had eaten pineapples or whatever. But nonetheless, it's a dream. You take it how you want. But I do believe she's passed on. I do believe she's in heaven, or she's somewhere where they're friendly. Let's put it like that. She's somewhere where the people are friendly. Yeah, I usually can remember my dreams. Sometimes I can. Usually I have really crazy, horrible dreams. Sometimes they're really, really nice. But this one was just a dream of me seeing the child in the room, recognizing the child, speaking to the child. She did not respond. She kept eating the fruit. And I basically was saying to her, oh my gosh, what are you doing here? And then I wanted to take a picture with her. But then I realized Don knew where she was. And Candy would call the people to say, hey, don't let that lady go anywhere near my kid. That's why I never, in my mind, in the dream, decided don't take any pictures. But as I said, it's just a dream. But I want to go ahead and get started. But I just want to thank you all for the kind comments on that video. You all had a lot of really nice comments about the dream itself. And as you know, it is just a dream. I do not know what happened to the child, but I feel at peace about Summer Wells. Do you understand what I'm saying? I no longer want to engage in the foolishness that's going on with these other people, her bio donors. I don't care anything about those people. I don't care about these other people that have come forward, who have something to say about this and that. People who have immersed themselves in the case. Those people mean nothing to me, because in the end, the story is not about them. The story is about Summer Wells, and that's just the bottom line. And that's how I feel about the said situation. The story is about Summer Wells, not anybody else. Okay, just a second. Going to piggyback off of Mr. AB. Thank you for joining me. This was content uploaded 21 hours ago. Candace's early statements to unmasked and public response to WJHL interview. I'm going to break it down as I go through. Oh, Lord.
Purdue University will apply now.
I knew that was going to happen.
I think she really loved to be in church because she felt a lot of love there. And I think you can't explain what that love is, but you feel it and you know it, when you're young. And she felt that there, and she loved everybody in that church. She loved.
Why, Donald, are you talking about the church? Talking about your daughter loved the people at the church. She loved church. Well, this is what I find interesting about that. How can you speak about God and your child loving church, but yet 9 times out of 10, you or that lady or both of you harmed Summer Wells? So how could you speak about God in the same breath? Make me understand. You see, I believe you all talk to hear yourselves, you and Candy. That's what you all have done since day one when you decided to go forward and speak. You don't care about God. You don't care about church. You don't care about yourself. You don't care about your kids. And to even talk about God in a news interview in the same breath with your daughter is hideous. It's just outright hideous. To say she loved the church, she loved the people, blah, blah, blah. But you didn't love her. How about that? You didn't love her. Candy didn't love her. You don't care about God. She don't care about God. Y'all don't care about church, the church people. Nothing. Just a crutch to use to spin this narrative. Just heinous. You people are heinous.
Everybody in that church, I should rephrase that because they'll tear that apart as past tense, and I apologize again for that. I hope she gets to come home, and I hope she gets to be with our church family again.
Our best friend in that church was Robin. She loved her to death.
Yeah, she looked up to women that were.
Her best friend was Robin at the church. She loved her to death, literally. Candy. Summer did love her to death because some of us believe your child is dead by the hands of you and Donald Wells. I'm not even about to say who did what, who held the baton, who held the wheel, who opened the door, shut the door, who made a call. I'm past all that. Calling a spade a spade. You're both complicit. She loved Robin to death. In death, she did. Did she not? When you watch this interview, Candy is doped up, sedated on whatever you want to say she's on. I don't even care because I'm no longer indulging in what somebody took, what somebody's on, what somebody indulges in. Man, I don't care about that stuff, stupid stuff. She's doped up. And she's thinking of what she's going to say. And yes, they use past tense a lot in describing the child. And some of us have done it by accident. When I went to the vigil for a young lady months ago before we even knew that she was deceased, her best friend got up and spoke and used past tense, and the people in the audience corrected her and said, no, don't say was, say is. So that was an honest mistake. And of course, to this day, we don't know or believe that this young lady had anything to do with her demise. We already have somebody arrested for that crime of Sheena Kyle. But her best friend spoke in past tense. Because maybe somewhere in her subconscious, she believed her friend was no longer alive. So maybe somebody gave him a pass when they first heard this interview. Oh, they didn't mean anything. They're upset. They're distraught. It's almost 2 weeks to 2 weeks have gone by. They think their child's gone, perhaps.
Come to that church, she went looking for Robin. That was her favorite person.
Any woman that was professional, that
was pretty,
yeah, beautiful. She looked up to those kind of women. She, they were the word I'm looking for. I can't think of it, but she looked up to them. She gave them a run for their money every day. to give them a run for their money. And there was times, we'd be, that our boys like, don't do this, don't do that. Next thing you know, the stick would come up and just whomp them. It'd be like, Summer, don't do that.
She liked those kind of women. What kind of women are those, Donald? Those kind of women. Your wife is sitting next to you. Not a morning star, but your choice of a woman. You chose Candy Blywells. But how insulting is that? And Candy agrees. Are you listening? She agrees with her husband, saying what the child liked about the women at the church because of their appearances and them being professional. So we're saying that all the women at the church were professionals. All the women at the church were pretty. Do you think I would sit beside a man that would talk like that about women and my child? Let's say Candy has nothing to do with the disappearance of Summer. Then what am I, chopped liver? Are you listening? The child like pretty women, professional women. You do too, don't you, Donna? But your wife is none of those things. She is none of those things. So you basically were insulting your wife in trying to toot the horn of a child 9 times out of 10 is deceased, and you knew she was deceased when you spoke the words to the news.
Summer was the boss of the family.
6 months ago, one of the first interviews Candace Wells made was with Unmasked. Here's how that went.
I mean, I put in all the misspelled words, all the, anything that was, a typo, anything like that. They're directly from her, so that you guys would get the same answers that we had. For one, my children were never sad. They were always happy. They never went without food, clothes, or power. Always had running water. They love to have fun, and they are my pride and.
I don't agree with that, Candy. There are pictures of your daughter where she does not look happy. There are a few pictures that you've posted to social media, Facebook, TikTok, whatever, where Summer did not look happy. That's a lie. Now, why you tell that lie? That's not true. There are pictures where Summer is clearly frowning in the photographs. Now, could it just be toddler ways? Because children, toddlers, small children, children in general, do throw tantrums when they don't get their way. They're being scolded. They'll frown, cry, moan, fall out. But let's keep it real. How are you going to tell us your children were happy all the time when we can look at the photos and see children who were disheveled looking, not so clean looking? Who would be happy? But then maybe your ideology that living in filth, filthy house, filthy property, that's happiness. Because in the end, maybe you're right. That's all they knew. So they accepted that. Because children can be in the harshest of conditions and still smile. So there might be maybe some truth to what you're saying. But see, I don't believe anything pertaining to you and Donald so long as your mouth is moving. Ting. Because we've already caught you in so many lies. And I'm going to break it down in everything that's said in this audio. And if you need a reference, AB is the reference. Long as your mouth is moving, Candy, you and Don, hell to the no. There's no truth. Because we've already debunked June 15th. The only thing we're waiting on is for you and Don to tell us where Summer is. I'm waiting. Because I know you know where she is. Because I know you put her there.
Enjoy. Me and my family, we have so much love for each other, but we try to give to others that don't have it. No, we're not rich in money and all that, but we are a loving family and try to treat others like we would like to be treated. I know my baby girl never left here on her own at all. My kids don't ever wander nowhere. She continued by saying, I was blessed with these 4.
Your child doesn't wander anywhere. So you must be speaking of on the property. They don't wander. And what do you consider wandering? Because you have 11 acres allegedly. And someone attested in their audio, video, that toys were going off the mountaintop. So that means your children threw things over the hill, which would be the dog trail. So do you want to clarify that again, sister? Your children ran down the dog trail. So that means they left the general area of eyesight from you, the top window doors. I don't really know what you got going on, to tell you the truth. The bottom door and Grandis's camper. So once they went to the dog trail and threw stuff over and rode stuff down, the little bikes, tricycles, whatever the hell they were doing, you didn't see them. You lost a whole child on June 15th, and you want me to believe you were looking down the dog trail when the children went and played? Hell no, you didn't. So that's another lie. Bingo card. And by the time I'm done with this video, you won't have enough fingers to count all the bingo cards. Are you listening? Talking about God, knowing you ain't a Christian, don't believe in God. And they don't wander off. But she wandered in church. So that's why I said, why don't you clarify wandering off? Because they wandered on their property. To some degree, they wandered around it. And your child wandered in church. So you were saying they didn't wander off the compound to the main road. That what you was trying to say, Candy? They wouldn't go down to the main road. They wouldn't go borrow sugar from the neighbors. Am I quoting that correctly? Because I can stand to be corrected. I don't have a problem with it. Your child wandered in church. We saw that in videos. So I'm assuming you're talking about wandering on the property. Just want to clarify that for everybody. Yeah, okay.
4 children, and never have they been sick except when my oldest had appendicitis, but that was the Holston Valley fault, trying to help, and because I wouldn't lie for her.
Stop right there. Your children ain't never been sick except for appendicitis, and now you're saying it's the hospital's fault. So what you trying to tell us, the hospital caused one of your sons to get appendicitis? That's something that happens internally, Heifer. What the hell is you talking about? And you don't strike me, you and Don, as people who care about themselves and their appearances. So what makes you think I think your children haven't been sick before? They probably had all kind of stuff. Mumps, measles, chicken pox, cooties, lice, bed bugs, sore throats, strep throat. And you ain't took them nowhere. Because you too busy trying to get to the smokehouse. Getting slushies. Yeah, that. Your children probably been sick a whole lot of times. Your babies never got colic. Your babies never got the runs. They didn't never get ear infections. Most babies get ear infections. Candy, stop the bull. Now you're trying to act like you from Mars. So what are you, an alien? What are you saying? Your children are aliens? What are you saying? No disrespect to the children, but you understand what I'm saying. What are you saying? They ain't never get sick. Ain't but one got appendicitis. And then you gonna blame that on the damn hospital. Said that's how the hospital gave it to your child. How the hell will a hospital give a child appendicitis? Well, that's an internal disorder. What is you saying? You see, foolish talk. See, this is what you and Don do. You're always blaming somebody for something. My kids ain't never been sick except for one time. He got appendicitis. But that's because the hospital caused that. But you sure didn't elaborate. Because that reporter, you see, she wasn't like a queen. I could get a ratchet with you. How the hospital give him appendicitis? Help me out. What you gonna say? He went in with a sore throat, and then he got an infection because somebody did something to him in the hospital, and then he got appendicitis. Okay, Candy. Blame game. Bingo card number 3.
To a 12-year-old, she got mad at me and started talking crazy crap about me. He is only 15. I knew him since he was 11 years old. And then we asked a couple questions back to back. So did you purchase or give alcohol to H? And did Summer go underwater for a minute and H saved her? So her response was, and I put all this in here just for context because she says lies, no way. So we asked some clarifying questions because obviously there was 2 questions asked back to back and we needed to know which one was what. So giving H alcohol was a lie? She answers yes, a lie. Clarifying question, Summer went underwater for a minute and H saved her and then she slept the whole ride home. She answers no.
Once again, your mouth is moving. So I don't believe nothing that you're saying or whatever this lady's repeating about the swimming hole. Basically, you agree with everything that transacted on June 15th, except H had a few places out of order. So which is it? Because that's what you told Chris Madonna. Basically, everything is in agreement except for a few places were out of order because I should know I drove. I knew where I was going. But did you say something about the water part? I remember you telling Chris Madonna, no, my baby ain't went up under no water. Maybe I need to re-listen. How would you know? Because we don't really know what happened at the swimming hole. We don't know what you were doing, what H was doing, and what grandmama was doing. And we know you love social media, so your head was probably buried in your cell phone looking at TikTok videos because you're a TikTok queen. An old, dusty, beat-up rag. Yeah, I said it. Facebook, TikTok, junkie. When you should have other things to do with your time. Instead of hanging out in a dirty pond with other folks' children. And grandmama should have been somewhere with her damn leg propped up. Did you hear that, Grandis? Yeah. You can't keep up with the church. You don't know if your child was under the water or not. And you never told Chris Madonna, to my understanding or recollection. So which is it? She was underwater or what? Because you did say you didn't know why H would say the things he said about you. But you and Don both said that about H and Allie.
No, she didn't go underwater at all, and she didn't go to sleep until after we dropped him off at home. Can you remove that comment for me, Leslie, so I can read that next part?
Let's talk about that for just a second. Allie says the child was propped up because we're getting ready to go into this milk stuff. Boy H ain't gonna care nothing about no damn milk. Let me say this to anybody listening. He's a boy. He's a child. His mind. Hey, you can tell him one thing. 5 minutes later, he don't remember nothing you said. Most children are that way. Teenagers anyway. He ain't worried about no milk jugs. He ain't worried about where he put them, where he sat them, in the floor, on the floor, in his lap. Do you get it? There's going to be some things you're not going to know about the story because none of us were there. But Allie says the child looked the same way in that video that went viral when she went to the car. So who's telling the truth? So what are we saying? Allie making it up? The child wasn't propped up against the milk when she went and stood by the car. See, in the end, like you're telling people, it's really not going to matter. Because there's just certain things you're just not going to know what's the truth or not. But let's just say H jumped out the car. He wasn't paying attention to nothing. The little girl had fallen asleep. Leaned over. I don't know. But I tell you, it's nothing worth dwelling on because you're never going to get to the bottom of what the hell happened on June 15th. Milk jugs, up, down, in the middle, over here, over there, leaning here, leaning there. Conversation, tell anybody. Candy moved a child because that's her child. And she put her the way she wanted her to be in the backseat of that truck on the milk jugs.
In the middle of all of this too, there's a lot of personal conversation that we were not okay to release, or that the person who was actually in contact with her did, we're not going to release about her either. So we decided to type it up this way and we wanted to make sure Candace was okay with what we were releasing. And this is what she said: yes, go ahead and release. Okay. And she would have never wandered off but I'm sure she went off. Okay, we can go to the next one.
Do you want me to try to read the next one?
Do you want to? How long from the time Summer went into... Okay, so that's my typo. How long from the time Summer went into the house to the time you noticed she was gone? And Candace replies with 2 minutes. And now, Melissa, if you can, we did ask some clarifying questions about this as well.
About going into the house?
Yeah, about the time, about 2 minutes, because she says that it was 2 minutes.
Around 4 minutes, roughly.
Yeah, around 2 to 4.
Bingo card number, what number we on? 4 or 5. So now it's 2 to 4 minutes with these people you're talking to. But originally you told the story to the news or whomever, it's 2 minutes. Then you talk to these strange women, it's 2 to 4 minutes. Well, which is it? Because we already know you don't keep up with time. So your 2 to 4 minutes could be 15, 20 minutes. Ting. 1 hour. Ting. You don't wear a watch. You don't pay attention to time. So if we're to believe that what you're saying is the truth of June 15th, how do we know that when you went to food with your mama's knee brace, that you were over there for 2 minutes, now 4 minutes? Well, if all you were going to do was fool with it for 2 to 4 minutes, hell, that means Granny's going to put it on herself. Or what were you actually doing with the knee brace? See, that's something else you've never told anybody. Are you listening, Candy? What were you actually doing with the knee brace? Could she not bend over to pull it on? Help me understand. Granny's got a back problem. She can't bend. What we talking about? Because you never said. You done talked to everybody from Pookieville to Hollowville. But you ain't told nobody exactly what you were doing with Grandy's with the knee brace. So I'm going to ask you, what were you doing with the knee brace, honey? Were you helping her take it out the package? Were you help putting it on her knee? You had to help her pull it up? Come on. Help me out, because I'm drowning. I told y'all don't stay woke. To this day, Candy ain't never told y'all exactly what she was doing with Grandis for 2 little minutes. 2 minutes ain't that long. From 30 feet to the house to walk back over and do what exactly for 2 minutes? Okay. Keep believing them lies.
4 minutes was the clarifying answer.
Yes, 2 to 4 minutes. Because I don't know if she understood the question right or I asked 2 to 4.
You know why? The dispatch call says you went for a walk run. She answered and said, I don't walk or run anywhere. We asked, did you call 911 or just Dawn? She said, I called the police.
See, they don't know how to ask questions. They ain't like Queen. Ting, ting, ting. Candy, why the dispatcher say you walked somewhere or you ran somewhere? They had to get the information from you. You had to be the one to give it to them. So what did you mean by what you told the dispatch? See, you got to know how to talk to people. It's called asking detailed questions. Candy, did you walk off the property or did you take a run, meaning you got in your car and drove down the driveway off the property? Because that's what we usually say in the South and probably other places. Hey, I'm going to run somewhere right quick. Hell, we ain't really getting ready to run no damn well. We just going to get in our car and go, where the hell we going? Ting. Bingo card number what? Number 6. And you didn't have a sense enough to ask her. What did you mean? So what are you saying? The dispatch is lying? Where would they have gotten that statement from? They just glazed right over that and kept letting her talk. You're supposed to ask her. Did you tell the dispatch you went somewhere? Tell me what you told her or him. You ran, you walked. Which is it? Did you leave the property? How long did you stay gone? Oops, wait a minute. Where did you go exactly? Ting, ting, ting. I ain't hear none of that. So what kind of interview is this? Yeah, I'm going there. You don't know how to ask pertinent questions? Are you accusing the dispatch of lying on you? Did you walk off the property, Candy? Did you run off the property, Candy? If you got in your car, but you meant to make it sound like you took a run, but you got in your car, where did you go? Because didn't you just leave and went around the world on June 15th? Left your kids alone? Child neglect charges. Hung around with a 15-year-old, gave him alcohol. Child neglect charges, solicitation of a child, feeding children alcohol. And you sure weren't going to admit that. Let me go back to that. You sure weren't going to admit that, yeah, I gave him alcohol. Yeah, I bought it for him. Yeah, I offered it to him. Child neglect. Where's the rest for leaving them children alone? Giving the boy alcohol. Smoke products. Help me, I'm drowning. You've been gone all day running around, and then you go drop off some little groceries to go back off the property to do what? Again, leaving your kids unattended because Granny in her camper. So that means she wasn't watching the children in the house when the boogeyman was hanging around the dog trail. So, Candy, I'm going to ask you, where did you go on your run? Ooh, you something else, girl. You are something
The
else.
police and my husband did. We asked her, do you know anything about the red truck? She said, I don't know what truck that is or where it is. We asked, do you know who it belongs to? She said, no, I don't. All right, so.
Well, I thought after the fact that the information about the truck came from Don. That was the word on the street of some hot gossip at one point. So here she's telling these people she don't know nothing about no truck. But then we keep hearing all this gossip about the neighbor has a truck like that. And they knew of a neighbor having a truck like that. So why did you not tell them ladies that you knew that your neighbor had a truck like that? Or that Don saw the truck? Because that was the rumors. So this is why I keep telling y'all you can't believe half the stuff that you hear. So what's the truth, Candy? You know somebody with a red Tacoma truck or not? Don't your neighbor got a truck like that? Now we're getting information that Robin went and bought a truck like that, her or a relative or somebody. Because that has nothing to do with the story. Calm down. So who fabricated the story about the Tacoma truck? Somebody did. But Ronnie Lawson says it's somebody that they know of and they were in their work truck, and they saw the truck. So I guess they were banking on this allegation of a truck being seen because they know the person that saw the truck. So what I'm trying to figure out is, who was the person that saw the truck? Is it Donald or some random person that lives in Hollerville or was passing through Hollerville, however he worded it, Ronnie Lawson. And now they're not banking on the red truck no more. Why is that? Help me understand, Mr. Lawson. Why you change your mind about the truck now, all of a sudden? Oh, it's Jody Sue? Oh, okay. Well, then if you know Jody Sue has a truck or her relatives have a truck, see, I don't keep up with the gossip. I don't keep up with the gossip. So I don't test to nothing. Then when these ladies asked you a question, you should have said, oh, yeah, the lady that live over there, or the lady that used to live over there, she got a red Tacoma truck. Her mama got a Tacoma truck, whomever.
So we said that there's a lot of speculation regarding Summer's shaved head. She said she wanted her head shaved because I shaved mine and her brother's because it gets too hot, and we are tomboys. I'm not a girly girl.
Woo, the subject I've been waiting on. Come on, bring it, Queen. She got cooties. She got lice. That's what the social worker said. That's what the social worker said. Somebody leaked the documents. She shaved her head because she got cooties. She got lice. Bring me a receipt. Because mommy here says, I'm not a girly girl. So I cut my hair short alongside my boys. And Summer wanted her haircut too. But yet when we look at the church videos, Summer is all over Robin Lane hair like she ain't never seen a woman with hair before. Damn, Candy, have you not seen the videos of your baby in church? Stroking Robin's hair, her face. Where you been? So what's the truth to the shaved head? Cooties, lice, or maybe this is the first time Candy's telling the truth. I'm a boy. I want my girl to look like a boy. Bingo card. Stay woke. I don't identify as a female, so she ain't gonna identify as a female. I don't care if she like dolls. She want to be a princess, as Don says. She likes to twirl around. Because what did I tell you all about the narrative of an abductor? If I'm stalking in the trees, looking for me a victim, Summer Wells would look like a boy. Ting, ting, ting. Did you hear that? She would look like a boy if she didn't have on female clothes. So if I'm a stalker, stalking the property, looking for me a victim, then 9 times out of 10, ting, 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 I was looking for me a boy to kidnap. Come on, Queen, bring it home, but they ain't ready. And then that means I had 3 little boys I could have kidnapped while mama was out playing house with H on June 15th. Bingo card number 8. See, y'all ain't ready for me. Candy, why did you shave that little girl's head? Is it because you can't identify with being a female? You have masculine tendencies. You identify with being a male, and you didn't like the fact that your little girl is a pretty little girl. She identified with being a female. She liked females, and you couldn't stand that. You couldn't stand that. So you shaved that baby's head down to the nub so she could be a mini me. As I brought you commentary from Psychology Today the other day, that the narcissist sees the child as an extension of themselves. So are you listening? Candy saw Summer herself. You're going to look like me, whether you like it or not. And we don't have Summer here to tell us if she actually wanted her head shaved or not. And let's say Summer wanted her hair shaved. Let's just say she did. What in God's name would possess your dizzy ass to shave that baby's head? You are a fool. You are a fool. And Don should have said something, spoke up. I don't want my little girl running around here looking like my boys. She's a girl. She will look like a girl and behave like a girl.
She continued by saying she liked it too. She felt free. She doesn't like her hair brushed. She continued again and said, please.
She don't like her hair brushed. Well, let me think about that for a minute. She don't like her hair brushed because you wasn't combing her hair or brushing her hair, and it probably stayed tangled. So naturally, when you do decide to comb or brush it, it would hurt. Now, let's say for the record, Summer is tender-headed. She had thinner hair. Once again, she liked dolls. She liked pretty women, professional women. She doted on Robin, who has long, flowing hair. Do I need to keep going? Now, why would I idolize this white woman with long hair and want all my damn hair shaved off? I'll wait. See, this is what happens when this keeps moving and we don't think before we speak. She likes professional women, pretty women in the church. Yet you would shave her hair down to the nub like a boy. Does that make any damn sense? And why would your child be near scissors, clippers? Because you remember Dawn told us she messed it up, so we went on to cut it all off. Well, the part that was hanging half and half, who did that? Summer didn't do that. You did that. You or Candy did that. So you want me to believe Candy had some hair when Summer's hair had the pieces hanging, and then she went and decided to cut all her hair off, Miss Candy, and then the little girl said, Mommy, will you cut the rest of my hair off? Oops, I forgot. Dawn said she went messing with her hair, so they had to go on and cut it all off. I can't keep up. Well, which is it? And as I told you all a while ago, when I watched some content on somebody's channel of a certain man who was posting pictures of little girls on his Facebook page, and all the little girls had haircuts like Summer, which I found very interesting. And I don't know what the hell's going on back there in Hollyville and those surrounding counties, but you all got some type of fixation with shaving little girls' hair down on the sides and letting little pieces hang over like a bob. Why? I don't know if that's some type of symbolism, some type of country white folk hairdo. I don't know, but it's creepy. And I really think it's inappropriate for little girls to have their heads shaved down on the sides and back. The only time a child's hair should be shaved to the nub is if they have alopecia or they have cancer. Did you hear that, Candy? What little girl doesn't want hair. And there are people who do cut their children's hair shorter. Usually they cut them in bobs, chin length, not down to an inch of hair. Thank you so much for joining me.
Please help bring my baby back home. She is missed very, very much. She inserted a prayer emoji as much as we can. So pray as much as we can. We asked, are you allowed to look for her yet? She said, not yet that I know of. We asked, did they check the swimming hole? She said, I don't know. We asked her, what do you think happened? She said, I believe someone snuck up here and that's my typo, I think, because I think she actually said here, I believe someone snuck up here and grabbed her out my yard. And then she continued, that's what only Summer, H, and Candace that went to the swimming hole. So now we clarify that it was Grandma Candace, Summer, Mom Candace, and H that were at the swimming hole. So let's see. So we said, so your mom went to the swimming hole too? She says yes. We said, most thought it was only you, H, and Summer. She says, nope. So you and H were close? She says, H called me Aunt Candace and my mom, Grandma. What time was this video taken? The one that she had just sent us. She said, hold on, I'll look. And then she continued, it was June 15th at 3:09 p.m. We said, what time did you go swimming? She said, 12:21. So, hold on for that, Leslie. Okay, we can just go ahead and do it. So this is basically the gist of what the statement. It's a short statement. All she wanted to do was to ask everyone to pray for her daughter. She wanted to thank everyone for searching and helping find Summer. And she asked that everybody stop bashing her family and her and focus on finding Summer. We do have some...
Stop bashing you. Stop bashing your family. We're not bashing your family. See, in the beginning, let me talk to you directly, Candy and Donna Wells. You did this. You, your mammy, grandmammy, whoever Grandis is, all three of you, whoever, y'all did this. We didn't do nothing to you. We didn't know you. You got that baby gone, and then you went to the news with some cockamamie story after leaving the dispatch office. You did this. You posted stuff to social media for people to chop up and dissect. You did this. We didn't do this. Nobody told you to go out there and hurt that little girl and then spin these lies and webs to social media and the news and the 911. You did this. And you know now, if you don't know anything else, that you've been caught red-handed. You just ain't been arrested yet. But y'all did this to yourselves because you couldn't stay off of social media before she went missing. So you did this to yourself. Nobody told you to post pictures of Summer and your kids looking nasty and dirty to social media. Nobody told you to put up pictures of her at that swimming hole. Nobody told you to post that damn video of her back there in the back seat with that milk. You did that. And you took that baby from here. So you blame your damn selves. You have nobody to blame but yourselves. Because there's people with missing children and they do not behave like you two. They know when to be quiet. They know when to stay in their lane. They know not to go to social media, barking at people, arguing with people, letting people come in their inbox, holding long-winded conversations with random damn strangers. You did that. You did it. Granny did it. And Donald did it. Still doing it. And you're jealous over Don for what reason? You can get a crackhead anywhere, heifer. my way, I'll help you find you another white boy that gets high. We got them everywhere. You want a meth head, crackhead, heroin, pill head? What you want? What's your flavor? Help you find you one. Like minds, evenly yoked. You two are glued at the hip. And I'm sure Don has favored other women. I'm sure he has. Because eventually he will tire of you. He acts doting on you, but we know why now, because you two are holding the secret to Summer Wells. So he can't let you out of his sight. You can't let him out of yours. Thank you all for joining me. This is Everyday Shenanigans. You want to donate to the channel? $Big Angie 129 Cash App. All super chats are welcome during the live. Thank you.
Some more clarifying questions that we did ask after, once again, that after this was made. So I want to make sure that we don't forget to address those. Like I said, I'll put all those slides up. You guys will have access to all the questions that we ask and her answers. But we asked. So we found out about them being on the news. That they're going to be on the news tonight. That was one thing that she did let us know. So everybody can look for that.
I know she didn't walk away from this property by herself or off this yard by her swing. I feel in my heart that somebody has came up here and took her and has lured her away from here. Me and my mother and her were planting flowers. And we went in after we got done washing our hands, and she got a piece of candy from Grandma. And she wanted to go back over and see her brothers. And I said, okay. And I walked her all the way over to the porch. And I watched her walk into the kitchen where the...
Dana Jordan says she was a tomboy. She loved Frozen. She loved to be that Elsa, and she really loved to be in church. She loved church. She loved everybody in that church. She loved Robin to death. She looked up to any woman that was professional. Summer was the boss of the family. She loved to play in the water, in the dirt. She loved to run. She also liked the song by New Breed called My House. She loved to dance. She loved to be outside. She was an outdoor person. That was her downfall. She liked to think of herself as a princess. So much past tense. I just watched the Samantha Josephson trial, and her father still described Samantha in present tense. I also couldn't ever use past tense to describe my children.
boys were watching TV.
Thank you all.
And I told the boys, I said, watch Summer, I'll be back. And within 2 minutes I came back. And I asked the boys where their sister was, and they said, she went downstairs, Mom, to play with her toys in the playroom. I said, okay. And I yelled downstairs for her a couple times. And I didn't get no answer, which was unusual.
Y'all, please stop.
And so I went down there to check.
I gotta stop right here. Thank you for the super chats. You all are killing me in the chat. If you go back and watch this video of Summer, Summer, you're talking about me. Lord have mercy. Candy is thinking of what to say. It is so obvious when you listen to this woman speak, this thing, creature. She's thinking about what to say. She's doped up or whatever, and she's thinking. Because 9 times out of 10, with the timeline, because we're going to get to that too, she had time to rehearse it in her head, what she was going to say to the dispatch and later to TBI, sheriff, and law enforcement. She had a few hours to get this story together. But the scary part is if indeed she thought of this before June 15th. And perhaps she had thought about many times getting rid of Summer Wells. But on that fateful day, she made the decision to get rid of a beautiful little girl. But when you listen to her speak, you can see she's intent on what she's saying while looking at the reporter. It's diabolical. She's diabolical.
And she was nowhere in sight.
Rhonda Person says it's been 10 and a half years since my son Adam went missing. I'm still not able to talk about anything surrounding his disappearance without crying. I realize that everyone reacts differently in situations. I'm having a difficult time understanding both of these parents' reactions at the moment. Lifting Summer up in prayers for a safe return. Thelma Portillo says, when a mom doesn't cry about her missing child, that's very disturbing.
So true. Why no emotions, Candy and Don? Why do you not cry when you speak of Summer Wells? Everything's past tense. Everything is articulated and deliberate. You spin all these webs about church, what she liked to do, who liked her at church. You're filling in your fillers. You're filling in the narrative. You're putting it together to bring it on home. So you thought. But you didn't think of us YouTubers and those who watch social media who would poke at the story and realize you are lying. And you have no one to blame but yourself for the poking. Because see, had you kept your mouth closed, we'd have nothing to put together and break back down. You did this. You did this. No cries. No moaning. Oh, my baby, Lord, why you take my child from me? How could you? It ain't right. Why my baby? Where are the emotions, Candy and Dawn? Not one teardrop for Summer Wells. I'm going to say something to you all, and then I'm going to finish playing this audio. And I'm going to try my best not to get emotional. Tonight I was out looking around for something, shoes to wear for New Year's Eve. And I was in another small town looking at a shoe store. And when I came out of there, I went to McDonald's to get me something to eat. And I decided to sit inside of the restaurant. And then I finished listening to AB's video and other content so I could get ready for the live tonight. While I was sitting in the McDonald's tonight, there was an older lady sitting near the door with a little bitty girl child. She had to be no more than about 3 or 4. Pretty little girl. She had long brown hair. The food was brought to her, and she was excited to get that Happy Meal because she knew there was something in there for her. And just to see the excitement on her face did something to me, because she was like this when the bag sat on the table, because she was like, And you could see her opening the bag because she knew there was a prize in there, a girl prize for a little girl. And at that moment, I thought of Summer. I thought of how that should be her. Sitting at McDonald's, waiting to get her girl prize. You stole that from her. You stole that from Summer. The anticipation to be a kid. Candy and Don Grandis, you stole that from her. And you stole her from her brothers. And it wasn't your place. But I know, as an old poem says, I know why the caged bird sings. She's singing. I'm all right. Lord have mercy. Give me strength.
She was just gone. I don't go on walks around here or runs because I'm scared of the bears and snakes and even the coyotes that are around here. Well, whoever has my daughter, I pray and hope that they have not harmed her and they bring her back to us safe and sound.
Just go to the FBI, the police, and clear it up.
Rhonda Kennard says this past tense is alarming. Even when a parent knows for a fact their child is dead, Candace, it's still hard to use past tense when referring to your baby. Bree, the mom, says, I've never heard of a parent of a missing child say that they feel bad for the search party.
Exactly. Who feels sorry for people who have decided to come and help find your child? They came because you summons people to get involved. But yet you are favoring worrying about somebody looking for your child. What the hell is wrong with you? You see, that's what people have been doing from day one, is chopping up everything you two have said, because the things you have done and said is idiotic and it doesn't make any sense pertaining to a missing child. You feel sorry for them. Basically what you were saying, what you doing out there? I don't need you looking out there. Because you didn't never go search for her. You didn't never go run to try to find whatever they found out. Every time a search party came, you didn't even go run out of breath to see what they found. Did you find anything? Can I help you? And it wasn't, what, more than a month or two before you even sat at the table with Mr. Ryder, after he done came down here with his team to look for your child in this Tennessee heat. You're ungrateful. And that's why I know you did something to Summer Wells. I don't give a damn what nobody say about you being at no job. You wasn't at no damn job, dude. You and that girl plotted this diabolical scheme, charade, farce, ruse. Got rid of Summer Wells. Nobody will ever make me believe different. Because we're going to sew it up here before I leave this live to prove, Donna Wells, you in cahoots with your wife. to get rid of your daughter.
Emerald Flowers says, I did interviews with every news station I could when my son was missing. The second his dad called me and told me he was missing, I immediately took into action. I wanted everyone to know he was missing. We had so much of our core of love and support. I did not stop searching for my son until his body was recovered in the river. My ex-husband murdered my 10-year-old son in 2015. Oh my God. I got justice for my baby boy, and I did not stop until he had justice.
Oh, it seems kind of elusive.
It's really strange that I've never seen this truck, and I've never heard of it until just recently. But I wish they would come forward and explain themselves. And if you're not a suspect, at least come forward and say what you've seen. She was a tomboy. I shaved my head. She wanted to have her head shaved like me and the boys did.
She tried to shave her head
She tried
in
to
the
shave her head
back and make
herself.
it, I think you can see it in some of the pictures, and it was getting out of control, so we decided to shave her head off and let it grow back long, and she shaved her head to...
Teresa C. says, they're just so calm. Something is wrong with these people. LMNOP says, I believe her mom knows something, no grieving, and I know this because I am a grieving mother.
So she wouldn't feel bad, and, but it didn't bother her at this point. Well, I knew right away that she was abducted. You know, I knew that right away, and that's what I told them from the beginning. But they have to go through their, I forget the word.
Investigation.
They have to do one step at a time, I guess. But I'm sorry that they had to spend so many man hours in these woods and everything. I've seen them limping and everything else, and I feel for them. But I just wish there was a way that neighbors could search neighbors' houses, and then if they're not willing, get a search warrant or something. But there's just no way you can search every single house, in the eastern United States or whatever. But I wish there was a way. Just thankful for the person or persons that's doing that, out of love, trying to get information.
Tiffany Nicole says, also, anytime you hear past tense words like she was a tomboy said by her mom and said she was an awesome young lady said by her dad, normally isn't a good sign, and their stories are not adding up. And funny how the dad mentioned people are attacking them for using past tense words, but then continues to use them until he catches himself saying it.
And then trying to get her found. We thank them from the bottom of our hearts.
There's a lot.
And we thank everybody who's trying so hard and praying so hard. And she's an awesome young lady, and we just want her back. There's always going to be haters, and it's always going to be that way in this world. And we just want to focus on the good friends and Christian people that are trying to help us and praying for us and praying for Summer. And we thank them from the bottom of our hearts, and that's the kind of people we try to relate with and socialize with. So we don't know anything about, no red truck, or we hardly know many of our neighbors. Because we just try to be around good people. And we do have good people in this area. We found out since this has all happened that we got some real good neighbors and good folks everywhere. But
Why can't you use present tense? 12 days in, you do an interview and you can't even use present tense about your child. Oh, the resurrection. Oh, fear in the resurrection. But will you be seen in the resurrection? Don and Candy Grandis. Will you be seen in the resurrection? will you be chosen to go through the gates of heaven? That's all you've done this entire story line. It's talked about G-O-D. Good church people, good people, good. Well, where are they now? These good Christian people, these good neighbors. Well, where are they now? Where are your good friends? Calling all good friends of Candy and Don. Will the real friends please stand up? Loyalty. Where are your friends now? Because you don't have any friends. I don't think you have any church friends. I don't think you have any church associates. You don't got no damn family, and you ain't got no damn friends. And these YouTubers, ding, checkmate. They don't got no damn friends. Did you hear that? Yeah, Big Ann said it. You ain't got no damn friends if you trying to hang with Don and Candy. Let me clear my throat. So they can tell you something for your content. You got to be mighty lonely. And feeling mighty, mighty low. You got to talk to Don and Candy for content. We got to get to the truth. We got to get to the truth. We got to get the truth out there. We have got to tell the public about summer. We have got to let everybody know about summer. Well, as Dr. Phil would say, how's that working for you? You want a church? I brought you church today. Come on with it, Queen. You people are disgusting. Like minds attract. Birds of a feather stick together. I'm going to Hollerville. Did you find what you was looking for when you went down there? That's all I want to know. Did you find what you was looking for? Because we about to hit January 1st. Did you find what you're looking for? As some YouTuber said the other night, you want to know what's going on in Rogersville? Go talk to Candy. Because that's where the link is to summer. You don't need to talk to nobody else. You don't need to interview nobody else. You don't need to inbox nobody else. Call Candy. She'll tell you what summer is, and we can cut out the BS and get on to the next story. Past tense. You speak past tense of summer because you got rid of summer. You can't speak of her in the present tense because she's out of sight, out of mind. She's been out of sight, out of mind. That's what people need to understand about this story. Summer was always on the back burner. Do you understand? Brothers too, don't get it twisted. They were always on the back burner. And I think the proof is in the pudding because Summer is missing and the three brothers are in the state's care far away from Rogersville. Why? Stay woke. There's a reason for the season. I talk about her past tense because she's of no use to me. That's why I got rid of her in the first place. I didn't need her. We didn't need her. Collateral damage.
Tiffany Nicole writes, for what reason would a random person come into the home and take a little 5-year-old baby girl with adults present? There's something very suspicious to me, and her parents are way too calm for having a missing child. And that mom looks extremely high. Prayers for Summer and safe return.
Very high.
The most important thing is to bring Summer home safe. I'm sorry that you
Ottawa Andy says this sounds more like a eulogy.
feel this way about us, but
And you do hear her children in the background.
children, with everything we have, we've never went without. Thanks to Summer's daddy and my husband, he's always provided for us and has worked as much as he could and can.
Jacob and Bradley's magic tricks.
Oh, I know.
Since Mia's Hallie keeps saying she loved certain things. At one point, they are saying whoever has their daughter, they hope and bring her back safe. And this turns around, and then turn around, keeps talking like they know she's not coming back.
And it still is. And I'm sorry that you guys feel that way, but that's my baby, and nobody would ever treat her like that.
Why are you apologizing to the public for what they think, Candy? I'm sorry you all feel that way. No, you're not. You don't care what we think. Who are we to you? Who are we to you? You don't care about your kids. You don't care about yourself. You don't care about Don either, or Mama either. So why would you care what the general public thinks about you? Now, the next line is the infamous line. Nobody would ever treat her like that. Well, what are you speaking of, Candy? Who? What are you talking about?
Like that, as long as I was around. Ever.
Nobody would ever treat her like that if I was around. So as he's getting ready to say, Miss Davy, so what you saying, you weren't around when she went missing? You were far away from the property? Or you know who took her and what they did to her, and your subconscious is talking about what really happened to Summer Wells on June 15th. You have knowledge, you have dirty knowledge of what happened to your baby girl, and you're speaking that out because you're sitting there talking. And even when you put this video on pause and you look at her, you can see that it's orchestrated, and she is thinking of what she has to say to move this interview along. She is null and void, empty inside. This ain't nothing but an old raggedy ass sackcloth sitting up here talking. A dirty dish rag. Candace Bly Wells. The kind of rag you take to clean your shoes off with. Get the mud off with. If I was around, if I was around. So you're basically telling us somebody got your kid. You know who got your kid and what they did to your kid. So maybe it is something different than what we thought. Could it be she did sell her kid? That helping Georgia did it to her baby girl. One year less than Summer. Or are they the same age? 5, 6, it's all the same. Did you sell your baby to the dope man? Because, you know, I'm going to be truthful. I haven't known any black dope dealers that want small children. And the only way I can see a dope dealer wanting a child is if he is a pedophile. And the customer knows he's into little children, if you get my drift. So is that where some of you want to take this narrative? She sold her baby to the dope dealer. So that means she knew that her dope dealer, or she knew of a dope dealer that's a pedophile. Just saying. To be continued.
She loves to dance. She would always want me. She says, "Daddy, hold my hand so I can."
Brenda Johnson asks, so Summer's mom says that Summer wanted her head shape to be like her mom's and brother's. Then the dad says that mom shaved her head so that Summer would feel better about her own hair being shaven. Which is it?
Twirl, and she would just like to twirl and twirl and twirl until my arm got tired. But I put out there that one of Summer's favorite songs was Godzilla, and and they're jumping all over me about was. Well, I'm sorry about that. It's just
correcting itself.
Song by a New Breed. It was called House. My House. She sung that a lot of times when I play it on the TV. She loved to dance.
She liked to think of herself as a princess, and all that.
Witchy Davies says more empathy for the searchers than what his daughters may be going through. Very weird response from both parents, but the mom looks completely out of it. The flags go up around the dad for me, and I don't believe Summer is far away. I think she's somewhere on that property, and I would be standing under those flower tubs. Hope I'm wrong and she's safe.
All young girls do. And,
she loved Frozen. She loved to be that Elsa and
Sammy Yard points out the obvious. I don't go for walks around here. I'm scared of the bears. But yet the police dispatch audio, they clearly state Mom had gone for a walk and come back to find her missing.
Can't keep up with her lies.
Katie finds it pretty compelling how he mentions they've been called out for using
love dirt.
What?
Yes.
For using what's loved, etc. And Candace continues to use the past tense when talking about Summer. And the stare she's giving the interviewer, like she's screaming she knows something but scared.
Yes. Let me say that. Thank you, AB. Yes. Rewatch this interview of Don and Candy talking to the news. It is so obvious that Candy knows where Summer is. She is studying this reporter as the reporter is asking the questions, and she is giving the half-baked answers that she's cocked up in her head to repeat. It is orchestrated because she's got the grin in those high cheekbones. And even when you pause the video don't lie. It's a grin. Even while my video is paused, there is a grin on Candace's face. Stay woke. She's studying the reporter. Are you believing this? Are you falling for this? Does it sound plausible to you? Real to you? I hope so. Yes, Duper's delights, exactly. Because this is all you're going to get from me. This is all you're going to get from me. Candy is diabolical, Don too. You can see it in this video, plain as day, that this is an orchestrated crime to get rid of a child. And she is throwing out bullshit as to what happened on June 15th. And she is articulating her words deliberately as to not, or attempt to not, slip up. Thank you for joining me.
I think she really loved to be in church because she felt a lot of love there. And I think you can't explain what that love is, but you feel it and you know it, when you're young. And she felt that there, and she loved everybody in that church. Or she loved everybody in that church. I should rephrase that because they'll tear that apart as past tense, and I apologize again for that. I hope she gets to come home, and I hope she gets to be with our church family again.
Her best friend in that church was Robin. She loved her to death.
She looked up to women that were.
She come to that church, she went looking for Robin. That was her favorite person.
Any woman that was professional, that
pretty,
beautiful. She looked up to those kind of women. She, they were the word I'm looking for.
Once again, throwing Candace under the bus, that she's not professional, not pretty. And I think it's shameful to be sitting here with your wife and your child missing, and you're saying, Summer basically idolized this woman. She ran to her when she went to church. Hell, not her mama, but Robin. And we see that in the videos. The few that were able to be taken from the website, from the church. King of fake apologies. I love it. Thank you, baby. Candy sitting there in her infamous blue tank top with no brassiere, baseball cap, mouth looked messed up, cheekbones messed up, and he's steady talking about other women and how they look and how they were appealing to his child. And you're sitting there nodding in agreement. Yeah, she liked pretty women, professional women. Look, Ma, no hands. No hands, Ma. Lord have mercy. As someone in the chat just said, they deserve each other. Yes, they do. They're disgusting.
I can't think of it, but she looked up to him. She gave him a run for their money every day. She gave him a run for their money. And there was times,
yes, manly.
That our boys like, don't do this, don't do that. Next thing you know, the stick would come up and just whop them. It'd be like, Summer, don't do that.
Summer was the boss of the family.
Amy Ross says, I would like to point out that this interview is beautiful. Great camera shots and close-up on faces. You can see it all. Questions are too convenient. I prefer an aggressive form of journalism.
Yes, I agree.
It was about convincing Mother to appear in front of a camera.
Yes.
Absolutely, the journalist has been successful in that. Great job, delicate but fantastic. You broke the
yes.
ice. As someone who speaks a different language, comes from a different country, and was brought up differently than in America, I'm concerned about the way her mother raised Summer. Apart from the lies, it's the fact that Summer's mother's eyes don't look trustworthy to me. Unlike her partner, I felt sympathy in this longer interview to him. I don't understand why she doesn't panic. Aside from her appearance, why words you say have nothing to do with emotions on your face? That's excellent. That's a great way of, I've never thought of it that way, but very simplistic question. Why the words you say have nothing to do with emotions on your face? When you talk about pain.
So true, AB. Because this is what happens when you lie. You see, you're not thinking about your facial expressions. I've heard people say that to me. Oh, you look like you're upset about something. You look like you're angry. Well, all in all, I wasn't angry, but maybe my face said otherwise. But I feel it's different than this situation here. You know that old saying when they're interrogating people in the interrogation room and they're asking them, did you do it? Did you do it? Did you kill him? Did you do this? Did you do that? They're saying no, but nodding yes. That's Candy. The sneak grin all through the interview. It's a little sly grin. Because she's saying, I got you, MFs. You don't know where she is. You're not going to find her. We got rid of her. We tucked her away nice and neat. And this is the narrative that you're going to get pertaining to Summer Wells. And I'm not going to give up and I'm not going to fold. And we're 6 months in. And despite all the foolishness and made up stories and prank phone calls and jumping on platforms and name calling, they have yet to tell you they killed their little girl or sold their little girl. Do you understand what I'm saying? And I'm telling you, when you go watch this video again, put it on pause when Candy speaks. She's grinning. even when the camera is on pause. And that's scary to me. I'm telling you, it's as if I'm looking at Satan myself, looking at her talk in this video. Your facial expressions tell you everything. And she's telling you, yeah, I got rid of her, and you're not going to find her. We got rid of her. You're not going to find her. We did this, and you're not going to find her. And we're guilty as hell. Catch us if you can.
Hey, why don't I see it? You run away with your eyes. You seem to be insincere. Since you have social accounts, dear mother, you upload a very disturbing video with a 15-year-old boy. You don't know him since yesterday because you also have a photo with him from the previous year when you lie on bed together. Are you Portuguese, by the way? I want this Amy Rock. By the river with only summer. When did this video take place? You like taking pictures of yourself. You aren't afraid to show your face. You want attention. True. Tell me, Summer Mom. If you already have this remark and media are interested in you, they ask you for a comment. Why didn't you take advantage of this situation? Why don't you dress somehow nicely for your first camera speech? Yeah, like put on a bra.
Yeah, like put on a bra. The news people are coming to your house to talk to you about your missing child, and you put on some old raggedy ass wife beater that you've had 1,001 moons. Why, Candy? Let me put on some lip gloss, blush for the camera. Thank you, JPL. Let me make these people think I care about my child and my children. Let me look appealing to the public. Let me look where people can say, hey, I empathize with her. I don't know, sweetie. She didn't do that. They didn't do that. Look at them. They're just good old country folks. Somebody stole their baby. But you can thank Chris Madonna for changing some of your minds when he went to her house, their house, to show you how they live. And all hell broke loose after Chris Madonna opened up the floodgates to that. Because even Satan got up and said, Lord, why did you let them come to your house, girl?
As a woman, do you not pay attention to such things? If it doesn't, this is irrelevant. If it doesn't, because it gets projected onto Summer Wells, and Summer is now, of course, missing.
Yes.
If it doesn't matter to you how you look like, are you a tomboy too?
Exactly.
Yes. So, was it your daughter's idea to be a tomboy or yours? Your daughter wanted to be like her mother? Did mom
Yes.
want her daughter not to look like a pretty girl?
Yes.
With long hair, dressing up in nice clothes for a girl?
Yes. Exactly.
Since Summer was going to be in kindergarten, did you have to teach her to listen to your requests? You know, to even putting on shoes? Did you accidentally get on your nerves when Summer wouldn't listen and you didn't have patience with her? Just asking questions. I want to understand your relationship. Because you see, dear Summer Mom, problem is that the internet doesn't forget. Everything you put on social media is now analyzed by people who don't buy your lies. It's not a question of being rude, just worrying about your daughter's fate. All you had to do was put nothing on the web, and no one would know how nasty you can be.
Thank
Don't
you.
blame people for draw conclusions from what they see in your photos and videos.
Exactly.
Which you voluntarily make it publicly available for viewing. You can't blame people who worry about Summer and have a bad feeling about what you put on the internet by yourself. Hope Summer's...
Let me stop right there. So true what he's saying. And I've already said that earlier. You all orchestrated this crime. You posted these photographs, videos of your children, how they were looking. So you gave people a reason to be in your personal business and judge you. But something I want to say to the chat, and I've been meaning to say this in my last live, many of you have made comments that you believe that they got rid of summer because school was about to start and they were going to see signs of essay, this and that. The reason why I tell you all I don't believe in that for one reason and one reason only, the obvious. This is why I tell you all you don't pay attention to what's obvious. Summer was going to church every Sunday, every other Sunday. You don't think people saw how she was looking and living then? That she looked malnourished, that she looked sickly, half hair, shaved head, peculiar behavior, staring off into space, not talking, mumbling. Stay woke. Those people at that church saw that with that child. So I don't understand why you all kept thinking, oh, they got rid of her because she was going to go to school and the teachers were going to see something. She was already seen. How did you all miss that? Staring in front of you. Summer was seen. She went to church. Robin is her best friend, remember? So who better to see the child up close, personal than Robin Lane in her Sabbath schoolroom? You think people in that church didn't know that something was wrong with the child? Her behavior was off, that she had some type of developmental problems. Did she smell? Because she sits here and tells these people she had running water. She didn't hurt for anything. They like to help people, which we know that's a lie. Because Candy, how could you and Don help somebody when you're living like that up there on the mountain? Please explain to me. You don't even have walls up. How are you going to help somebody in the community? Help somebody in the community do what exactly? What were you going to do to some random stranger? Her body, you're still not making any sense, Irene. If I'm worried about doing something to my child that would alert the public, I wouldn't send her to church. Y'all are listening. What is the difference between church and CPS? She's still visible in the public. Somebody easily from the church could have called or said something about whatever they noticed. Cooties, headlights, odor, not eating, malnourished looking, not responsive, not talking. How's it different? I'm just saying. You all sometimes don't really think about what you are saying. She was visible to the public. Matter of fact, the church is about as public as you can get. The preacher saw her, Robin saw her, children saw her, other church members saw her. So why does it have to be the school would be alerted? CPS was coming. But yet, CPS didn't take the boys. I'm going to keep saying that until I make you understand what you're saying. Oh, CPS was coming. CPS was coming. But the same CPS that was coming left 3 boys in the house for 6 weeks. Make it make sense. She's being investigated for whatever reason. Candy, Don. But yet they left their boys with them for 6 weeks. So that cannot be true. That cannot be true. Because if that is true, then that means CPS willingly left the children there with an open investigation for whatever reason and turned a blind eye. So now is that what you're saying? That CPS turned a blind eye?
This case doesn't turn cold until Summer's body is found. I have a feeling no one will tell us the truth.
She,
Typical girl.
they get on the line, she put them in line.
She do her best.
You all still not listening.
She loves to play in the mud, in the water, and swing on her swing, and enjoy dirt.
When I run the lawnmower around, she would run behind me. When the boys run their bikes around, she, as fast as that little bike could go, she would be behind them running and keeping up with them, no problem. You know, she loved to run. She just loved to run. And she could pull herself up on that swing, her full body weight with her 2 hands. And she can do that. None of the other boys can do that, but she can.
Was she at school yet?
No,
No.
she's going this year.
This was supposed to be our first year.
She's we did all the work.
I took care of everything.
Yeah.
I had her already taken all of her shots and registered in the school for ready for this year.
I just never expected for anyone to get hold of my heart like she has, because I try to guard my heart as much as I can, but she
Sage Nelson responds, him saying, meaning Don, he feels bad for all the man hours being put in, equals he knows where she is and they aren't anywhere close.
holds my heart in her little hands. And I love her with all my heart. And I'd do anything to have her back.
Yeah, and this is like not even 2 weeks after 12 days. 12 days after she went missing, Summer Wells. So here's a reply. Southern mess. No one would treat her that way, not as long as I was around. What does that mean? Sounds as if she wasn't around when Summer was actually went missing or not. Maybe she left for a bit and one of her brothers accidentally hurt her. How do the boys know for a fact that Summer went down into the basement to play? Candace called it a playroom.
Yes,
that
Chris.
basement is by no means a playroom. Or should it be even a place where children can sleep? But if the boys were glued to the TV and the entrance to the basement is hidden behind a bar, how do the boys know for 100% fact that she went down into the basement? We have heard church members say that Summer was not that vocal, so are we to believe Mom when she said that Summer told her brothers, I'm going down into the playroom to play with my toys? From what we know and have seen of Summer, it seems more likely that she wouldn't go on past her brothers, that she's going to be in the basement to play. It seems she would be more likely just to go down there. The basement is not a safe place for those kids. No light, and how would a person look through that window in the basement door and see if Summer was in there or not? It wasn't just one way. How would a person look through that window in the basement door and see Summer if she was in her part of that basement in the corner playing with her toys? Mom said when she left that morning that...
Before we get into the door situation, very good point about guarding your heart. Don, why would you guard your heart? Allegedly, you're married, you love your wife, you have children, you love your children. See, you say things that don't make any logical sense, because basically you're talking about Summer as if she's not your daughter, as if she's a random person, random female, random woman, because you're empty inside. That's why you said that. Because deep down inside, Don, you don't trust anybody. You do what most sociopaths do. They mimic what regular, decent people do, which is go to work, go to school, put their pants on, zip them up, drink orange juice in the morning, coffee, walk out the door, shut it, say hello. But really, they don't give a fuck about anything. That's what sociopaths do. They mimic what is expected of them. Ask Theodore Bundy. He was the best sociopath known in history. He mimicked what was expected of him. And that's why you made that comment. Guard your heart, but yet you're married and have lots of children, not just Summer and the 3 boys. You have outside children. So that comment makes no damn sense. And as far as the timeline, we will get into that.
That she locked up the boys inside and no one could get in or out. So the theory that someone was waiting in the basement is absurd. Exactly. The theory that somebody was lurking on the side of the house waiting for Summer to go inside the basement and then ran off with her without those dogs barking and Summer screaming is absurd.
If there's any way you can find it in your heart to please release her somehow, I don't know how you might do that. I mean, because you're probably scared of going to prison for the rest of your life and everything else, I'm sure. But please find it in your heart, have mercy, and find a way of letting her go, and where we can get her back. And
now, what Don is saying here is what most law officials will tell a missing parent to do, is to try to relate to the abductor, which is make him or her feel some type of empathy for the child to release the child. Talk to the abductor. I know you're going through something, but just please bring our child back. Drop her off at the nearest fire station, school, building, business. We just want her back. We understand you probably got some things going on. You're scared. You're worried about being caught. Because some of you might think that was a crazy thing for him to say, like the search party, him worried about what they were going through. But in some degree, that's a good technique if indeed the child was abducted. To talk to the abductor, to make him or her feel something for the child. But perhaps Don is smarter than we thought. Stay woke. I always remember there's some truth into the foolishness.
And just please have mercy on her, and us, and her brothers. And she's such a loving, good spirit. Please don't hurt her. Please.
See, they've even got the boys out and around, rolling around with her as they're conducting this interview. So they have an excuse to talk. Oh, we can only talk a certain way because there's kids present, type of thing.
Yeah.
Like, they use them almost as a human shield.
Just let her come home. But my biggest fear is, her being tormented or locked in a dungeon or basement or something, because she loved to be outside all the time. That was her. Unfortunately, her downfall is a lot of times
bingo card number, I've stopped counting. How's that her downfall? Because allegedly she went missing from the inside of the house, Donald Wells. But then Miss Earhart tells us she was outside and possibly had on no shoes. So which is it? Summer Wells was inside or outside of the house? Because you see, you all have changed your versions to the police and the news. You can't keep up. And downfall is an inappropriate word to use to speak of a child, because children should be obsolete when it comes to predators and leaving the world early by the hands of another human being. You're talking about Summer as if she's an adult. She should have known better. You can't make this stuff up. Listening to these two people talk, they're diabolical. So I'm going to ask you, Donald Wells, were you home when Summer came home with Candy? Or did Candy even come home? Or did she meet you somewhere and both of you took the child somewhere? Because see, as we listen to you talk in the interview, there's more discrepancies and bingo cards to account for. Because you're getting ready to start talking about the door. It was also said earlier, the kids couldn't get in or out. They were locked in. So how could they be locked in or out, but Summer goes missing? Then allegedly nobody could see inside of the door. So how would the perpetrator know what's down there unless he or she has been to the compound before? And once again, your version is that the child went missing from the basement. But then yet you tell us here, you're worried about what the perpetrator's doing with her, locking her up inside a dungeon. She was in a dungeon. A cold basement with no windows, no adequate light, no girly products, pretty curtains, bedding, furniture for children, girl children, a mattress on the floor, and you have the nerve to say, oh, I I can only imagine what they're doing to her. I hope they're not locking her up in a basement because she likes to go outside. That was her downfall. But let your wife tell it. She went missing from inside. So what do you know about the disappearance of Summer Wells, Donald? Because you see, you all kept changing the versions. Inside or outside? Boys locked in, locked out. But Summer's the only one that goes missing from downstairs, and the door that leads to the dungeon, you can't see inside. But how did the perpetrator know where to go look? Which room to go to? You see, you didn't plan this carefully. And this is where the discrepancies come into play. The dispatch call. Running, walking off the property, Candy. Then it goes to planting flowers, 2 minutes. Then you talk to these girls, it's 2 to 4 minutes. Then it's kids locked in, locked out, but then Summer goes missing. But then you say she went missing from the basement, but then Miss Earhart tells us the child possibly had on no shoes and was outside when she got abducted. Which is it? You see, the truth never deviates, and it never changes. Stay woke. Thank you, AB.
The boys would be inside and we'd be like, "Where's Summer? Why'd you leave her out there alone? Go get Summer now." And that's happened over and over again. And we'd come out and she would always be close by, but we was always coming up. She had to be outside. She was an outdoor person. And she
Loved to be outside.
and I'm so afraid that she's locked away.
I don't know about any footprints.
She's such a loving heart.
It's not something they dwell on in the storyline.
I'm afraid that she won't be able to, blocked away where she can't be outside or play with a puppy or anything. Love nature, and that's my greatest fear, that she's not able to do these things anymore, or that she can possibly.
Jenna Bradley says, cringing so hard right now. This whole interview, everything about it, coming from me, a recovering addict, this lady's high as frick. Her eyes, her demeanor, her speech, you can mainly tell it from her eyes, though. This has nothing to do with them being poor or uneducated or not articulate in conversations. Just the whole energy and way they're speaking, the things they're saying in this interview, it's all off. And it's very obvious, no emotion at all, no sense of urgency. They're talking about irrelevant stuff, trying to make it look like she was important to them.
Yes.
They're rambling.
Exactly.
There's no substance to it, no emotion in it at all.
Exactly.
This is sick.
I agree with everything he said and what the commenter said. This is all fluff to aid the story and the narrative of the child being abducted. She's doped up, geeked up. You can see it. You don't have to be a user or a former addict to know somebody is under the influence of a narcotic or drug or alcohol. You will see it. You will hear it. You'll possibly even smell it. She's sedated with something under the influence. I say sedated, which is just a prettier word for doped up. You see, she was doped up because she thought, I'm going to need something to get me through this interview. Which still leads me to know you stayed doped up before Summer went missing. Your husband get high, drink before she went missing. Because these are the people you are. Your users, your drinkers, drunkards, whatever you want to call it. You were doing these things before you got rid of Summer. And you're not going to stop until one of you are dead. Because that's where the next storyline is going. One of you are going to end up penitentiary or dead. Any, many, miny, mo. Dangerous people, yes. Guilty people, yes. Because the narrative has changed and they've added a little every time they speak to somebody different. There's something always extra added. And it's very obvious when you listen to this interview. It's a very sick interview to listen to.
I don't want to think she's dead, but it's a possibility. I don't want to address all the negativity.
Now she's looking at him like,
on the positive.
yeah, she does look at him funny.
It's so easy to get, lost in that negativity and stuff, and it's just not worth it. So I'm just, I appreciate y'all for the good things you say and your prayers. That's awesome.
When my sister got missing, I was in between Arkansas and Tennessee. I don't know all of what happened or what did happen, but I hope that they find her too and bring her home safely too.
But yeah, there's nothing. I mean, she disappeared without a trace. They haven't found anything. Haven't found a body. Nothing. And when you see cases like that, that's why I lose hope on Summer. I want to keep hope, but sometimes I lose hope. And I think, well, maybe we won't never see her again. So I start thinking in past tense. Sorry, but I'm trying to keep hope up.
Somebody should ask Candace when the last time and watched the last meal that Summer Wells has had.
Very true.
When was
Yes.
the last time you fed Summer, and what was it?
Mm-hmm.
Listen, guys, I'm done with the shit. I'm trying to keep it real. I'm trying to keep the integrity going. Listen, I've done what I've done with my own fucking money. I don't ask for donations. If I want to go to Ben Hill Road, I get my little fucking happy ass CRV and I go to fucking Ben Hill Road.
That was another creator giving his commentary pertaining to the storyline and all the shenanigans that have jumped off pertaining to this story. Let me say this because I'm topping at 2 hours. I don't want to hold you all. Whoops. It is said that they were at the swimming hole about 12:21, 12:31, somewhere in there, because I can't remember what I saw the other day. The clincher of this story is that at 3:09, Candace took that photograph or video of the child in the back seat with the milk. So let's do the math. And this is where I debunk everything that's been said by Donald and Candy Wells. If you took the video at 3:09 p.m. and you were only a few minutes away, I'm going to give you a whole hour just to be nice. 3:09, you're filming the video. You're driving down the street to 110 where you live. I don't know if you were 5 minutes away, 2 minutes away, 10 minutes away. So that's why I'm going to give you an hour. I'm going to give you a whole hour from 3:09. From 3:09, you rode down the road, went up there, y'all separated the groceries. The daughter went over to get the candy. Then she said she wanted to go over and play with her brothers. You walked over. She walked in. You told the boys what to do with the child. Then you walked back for 2 minutes and played with your mother's knee. Then you walked in, talked to the boys, asked where the child was, called her. She didn't answer. Then you went downstairs. All of that. Oops, I forgot you said you did some laundry. I'm going to still say 1 hour. Unloading groceries, planting flowers, getting candy, all of that. You still can't explain why a call went into the dispatch at 6:26 to 6:27. So I'm going to ask you, Candy, and Don too, what the hell were you doing for damn near 2.5 hours or more to where you didn't notice your child was gone? So basically, you don't even know when the hell Summer was allegedly abducted. And you ain't hear nothing, see nothing. Dogs didn't bark, nothing. All them people on one property, and nobody heard a sadist come up on the property and steal a child. Bingo card, yes. So what time did you get home? How long did it take you to unload the groceries, separate the groceries? And that's another thing. Who the hell separates groceries? Didn't your mama know how to put her own stuff in the bag at the store? And then when it's time to get out the car, she just grabs her bags and go on in her house with her bags. Ding! Bingo card again. You've made all this up. Nobody goes grocery shopping and put everything in the same bags because they don't want to have to go through that stuff at the end of the grocery trip. Exactly what groceries. And that's true. What did you buy exactly on June 15th? Besides the milk, what else did you purchase? Because now that I sit here and think about that, great question. H was holding the milk when he told Chris McDonough. So where was the other food at if H had to hold the gallons of milk? Because they were going back and forth, him asking that boy about that damn milk. So where were the other groceries if H had to hold the milk? Ting! Another bingo card. And you want me to believe for 2.5 hours, your child was lost to a phantom and you had no idea until what time? You went down those stairs and realized she was gone. Candy, you just told on yourself that you're a liar. Because if you filmed the video at 3:09, pulled up to the house, depending on how far you were from where you filmed the video, unloaded groceries, planted some flowers, walked over to the door, did some laundry, whatever you were doing, walking around the house, talking to yourself, getting high, geeked up, whatever, that still doesn't account for all those hours that went by before you went and called 911 to say your child was missing. And then, too, you had to call Donald first, allegedly, and then call 911. That's still hours from 3:09. Well, she didn't walk into the house. That's the point. This is a fabricated story of June 15th. And we'll probably never know what happened from the time she dropped off boy H. Because I believe that is when the ball got put into motion for the disappearing act of this child. Once out of the way of Kingsport, they discarded the child, possibly handed her off and or murdered her, and the rest is history. And then you had to go cook up a story and played it out in your head, talked it out in front of a mirror, what you were going to say to the dispatch and to the world of what you did to your child on June 15th. Because you see, we've already caught you in a lie about the video. 3:09 to 6:26, 6:27, that's 3+ hours. That's unaccounted for. And you can't say you went and did something for 2 minutes and then went back into the house and noticed the child was gone. Because if you were near your house after 3:09, how did you make a call at 6:27 or 6:30, whatever time they want to put it at? That's hours later. So you're a liar. And we really don't have to talk about it anymore, about the timeline. You lied. You dumped the baby, whatever you did to her, murdered her, dumped her, handed her off. However, for those hours that went by, you had to cook up a story of what you were going to tell the dispatch and the world. That's what you did for those 3 hours. You practiced what you were going to say. And the fact that you've been calling 911 on Don shows us that there's nothing wrong with the phone lines out there at your address. Maybe spotty coverage on occasion, but you've called the law from out there. And I'm not going to sit here and think in October of 2020, you used Grandis's phone to dial 911 to call on Don when you and Jose and all of you all were having a ruckus up there. So maybe we should ask you now. When Don returned from Utah last October, whose phone did you use to call 911? When you have to take care of grown folks' business, whose phone do you use? When your friends and family call, Whose phone do you use? And all these lives that you and Don have been doing, you mean to tell me you were using Grandis's phone? Well, we know that's a lie because Grandis was gone out of town. Bingo card 1000. You're a lying sack of shit. You've been lying this whole time. You've been lying. You and Don both have been lying. And Grandis, you fit in this as well because you have to know something about June 15th. And the fact that you left town and then slid your slick ass back into town, and Candy allegedly did not want to let anybody know, per Jenna. There's something sickening about that. Why not, Candy? Did you want the public to know that Grandis was back? And why did FBI, TBI allow her to leave? I don't know. But I got enough sense to know that this is a cooked up story and that it was deliberate and orchestrated to get rid of that child, no matter what reasoning, motive, circumstance. It was deliberate. And that's enough for me. I do not have any information on the remains that were found in Knox County. When I get that information, I will post it to my community page and I'll bring you the said information. But I do believe the disappearance of Summer Wells was orchestrated by her parents. And this woman, Grandis, is a part of the bullshit too. And if she's not, then she needs to bring a receipt to remove herself from the equation. I want to thank all of you for joining me. I want to thank Mr. AB. I want to thank the fans, his chat. They had great questions and commentary. And I want to thank my fans and those who commented in the comment box. You've brought some very interesting commentary to the forefront. And the fact that a person could ask so many questions is your proof in the pudding that this is a lie and orchestrated. Because you see, when a crime has not occurred and it's by them or it's an actual abduction, make sure I get my words correct, they have nothing to do with it. Let's just say that. They have nothing to do with the abduction of Summer. We wouldn't have so many questions. You see, it'd be a fine, straight line with no variances, period. The fact that we all have questions about June 15th shows you it's not the truth. Because if it sounded perfect with receipts, there'd be no room for versions, narratives, and questions. Thank you all. Thank you all, new subscribers, old subscribers, people just falling into the content, videos, 537. Thank you so much. I'm humble. God bless all of you. Stay safe. Happy New Year to all of you. Please mind the little ones. If you see something, say something. Be a part of the solution and not the problem. Don't be afraid to speak up. It just may save a life. It just may save a life. And our children are our future. Because at one time, you were a child. And you deserve the best. And you deserve to be happy. And you are now an adult. Whether you had the best life or not, this is your opportunity to give the best life to yourself if you were not afforded that opportunity. So a little person, he or she deserves that as well right now. Thank you all. Thank you, mods. Thank you all. Love all of you. Thank you so much. God bless all of you. I wouldn't need to interrogate them, sweetheart. I know everything I need to know. I know everything I need to know about June 15th. I don't need anybody to prove anything to me about June 15th. I just would like to know where Summer is. I think the rest is self-explanatory. Thank you. This is Everyday Shenanigans. Bye-bye.